to a different channel because for some reason my other one isn't working on the other one, so I do apologize for that. But if you log into here, hopefully you'll see this in a minute and you can pop on. Just wait a few minutes. Okay, great, fantastic. There's one of you on there. Is there anybody else around? Hopefully we'll get some more on you there soon. Hi guys, sorry about the confusion. My, technology is a great thing when it's working properly, but I've obviously not put it in the right place. Technology is a great thing when it's working properly, but I've obviously not put it in the right place. Let's turn the sound down on the other one. Hi Ronnie. Thanks Annette, that's amazing, thank you. Just unbelievable. For some reason it's not working on my phone today, but it's one of those things. Probably it is the heat or it's me, I don't know which at the moment, but we'll figure it out. We're all here now, so that's the main thing. So welcome everybody. Hi from my kitchen. Today we are going to be delving into the depths of an Egyptian dish, Egyptian street food actually. See beef stew. Why can't you see beef stew as your password? Because it's strong enough. Oh, very good. So we are going to be making a street food which is called kushari. Kushari is an Egyptian street food, really popular in Egypt and very cheap to get. Basically, it's an amalgamation of lots of different cheaper foods. So rice and macaroni and anything basically that you have in your larder or your kitchen or your fridge. It's all there for you. So oh, you're an absolute superstar, Annette. Thank you so much. So we're going to get started. Now, I've kind of like pre-prepped a few things because it makes it easier, because otherwise this would be a long process and I don't think you want to see me boiling down tomatoes particularly. So I'm going to turn you round now, if I can figure out how to do that, because today seems to be one of those days. There we go. So these are the different ingredients we have here. So we have some Egyptian rice. This is actually real Egyptian rice. I managed to get this from a Middle Eastern supermarket. They sell those quite nicely, and it's only $1.89 a kilo, which is actually a really good price. Then we have white onions, some tomatoes, macaroni, some cumin and some coriander, or cumin and kusbra as we say in Arabic. We have some salt, we have some pepper, we have some ghee. You can pick this up actually anywhere in the UK, especially. This one is actually from Sainsbury's. White vinegar and some garlic. Okay, so all of these things are going to make a meal, and a very tasty one at that. If you like carbs is great for you. So hopefully you'll be able to get on board with this, which is a really, really good one. Now, don't forget, today's tour is absolutely free, but if you'd like to buy me a coffee to help me with getting ingredients and things, that's absolutely wonderful, because that would be perfect. So thank you very much in advance for that. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/Leslie Hammam, I've actually put it up in the chat, and I will put it again a little bit later on in the tour for you. Just click onto there and you can buy me a coffee there. So let's get started, shall we? So as I said, I've already prepped some things. The first thing that you need to do is you need to make a salsa, okay, or a salsa. So what we do is we take our tomatoes, we chop them up, and then we blitz them in our blender. As you can see, I've already done it. So what we're going to do now is take this off and then take it over to our stove, and then we're going to reduce it down because, excuse the mess over there, because obviously I've already been at it today. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our frying pan like this, and then all we're going to do is reduce that down. So it's already been reduced down a little bit, but we're going to let that simmer on the back of the cooker for us, so that it's just simmering away, because we want it to go down into a little bit of a pasty type situation, not too much. I'm going to put one of those on because we don't want that spitting everywhere, which it will definitely do. You worry for people who don't like carbs. Those are people that I can't get on board with, to be perfectly honest, because I do like a good carb loading. So the next thing, right, so I'm going to take this one. You might see a puppy every now and again. I'm going to then take some of the Egyptian rice, and we're going to go back over to the sink again, and we are going to prepare some of this. This is the next thing to go in. So you want to take one of these lovely little colander there. I think you actually need some scissors, which would be a good idea. And then we're going to cut the corner off this, because I'm not going to use that much, because there's only 2 of us eating this. Now this does actually store quite well, so I'm going to use about a cup's worth, I'd say, of this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it a bit of a wash, okay? So you can look at me for a minute while I'm washing that, because I don't think you really want to see me washing rice, do you? But why are we washing it? We're washing it because we need to get the starch off, okay? Getting the starch off is really important. I can actually show you how the starch is coming off if you like. Bear with me, excuse my toaster. So we've got some starch coming off there. I'm just going to give that a whiz round in there. Before I started the tour, by the way, I boiled the pasta as well. So the pasta is already pre-boiled, because that obviously takes a few minutes and you don't want to be waiting for that to do you? So that'd be that. So we're washing our rice, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to fry it in the same way as we do a fried Egyptian rice, but we're not going to do it for as long, okay? So we're only going to do it for a short amount of time, and then what we're going to do is just try and get as much of the water out of this as possible by giving it a bit of a shake in the colander. So we want to try and get as much of the water out as humanely possible. That sounds like me. I've actually done some kebabs as well to go with. We've got a bit of meat, so it's not just. Oh, hold on. I'll turn you around again. So that, as you can see, it's all drained pretty much. I'm just going to give that a bit of an air in like that. But what we're going to do then is turn you back round, don't get dizzy. And we are going to start on the cooking part of the rice, okay? So I've already heated up some water, which is also very important. We're going to turn this on to about, we're going to heat it right up actually, because I need it quite warm. Because what we're going to do is we're going to fry the rice off first before we actually start to boil it, okay? Which is quite important, by the way. Really important that we do that, because we want it to shrink down a little bit, because we want it a little bit like, makes it a little bit harder, I suppose, which is always a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. And then what I'm going to do is then put a chicken stock into the boiling water that I've done, so that we can then have a little bit of flavour in the rice as well. I will catch up with the chat in a minute. Unfortunately, I can't at the moment because I'm whizzing around the kitchen. Let's just make sure that's nice and hot, before we put the ghee in. We are going to put some ghee in momentarily. So this is the ghee, okay? So if you want to have a look what that says, it doesn't look very healthy, does it? But it does give a bit of extra flavour to our rice and makes it taste quite delicious, okay? You can store this in the fridge, which is probably a good idea. I'm going to put a big dollop in because we need quite a bit to be able to get the rice correct. I'm just going to wait for that to heat up a bit because we need it to be steaming hot before we actually put the rice in, because we want to try and fry it off quite quickly. We don't want it going slowly, we want it quite quick. So you see this is melted down quite a lot. Seems quite a lot of ghee in there for all the amount of rice, but trust me, it will all fry off, so don't worry about that. Oh, it's already really clean, Laura. It's just that the toaster's looking a bit messy. We only do that sort of like once a month or so. We don't do it all the time. Plus, I've already started cooking quite a while ago, so this is why I've got quite a bit going on in the kitchen. So I'm going to put about 3/4 of that rice in and then let it start doing its thing. We want it to start getting nice and toasted in there. Okay, so as you can see, it looks very oily in there at the moment. That is absolutely normal, but we are going to put a little bit more rice in there in a little bit, so that will be used up as well, because we want to fry it all off. We don't want it going black. That's the point of burning. So we put a bit of extra oil in there just to make sure that it doesn't do that. We want to make sure that it fries off really nicely and evenly as much as we can. Now, Egyptian rice can be a little bit temperamental. Now, why Egyptian rice? What is so special about that? Why can't you use your long grain rice? Well, the rice that we use is quite fat. It's like a short grain rice. So it's very short and plumpy. Almost the same as risotto rice, a little bit similar, but it's not so sticky. So yeah, this rice, Egyptian rice, is really perfect for this dish and for when we're frying it off, okay? You can use long grain rice if you want to. It just doesn't cook the same way, all right? Okay, so let's have a look and see what our salsa is doing. That's coming up to temperature a little bit to make it a little bit warmer in there. And get another. This is the other thing about Egyptian cooking. You tend to use all the saucepans and frying pans and everything that you've got in the kitchen. And they all seem to get used. It seems to get used up quite quickly, and then you end up with an awful lot of washing off at the end. That's the only thing about Egyptian cooking, which is a real pain in the neck, really, is you do tend to use a lot. Now, what we're waiting for, now you'll see from here, it's got quite sticky. It's all sticking together. We're waiting for that to loosen up a little bit. It will get a little bit harder before it gets softer. And then what we'll do then is we'll throw the rest of the rice that we've saved at the back in reserve in to do a bit more. Now, I might not use all of this rice to go in my cushery. I might leave some for another dish. But we're going to give that a good mix around there. The thing about live cooking shows from somebody's kitchen, you get to see the warts and all around here, I tell you. Right. So that's nearly ready. Now, can you hear the kind of empty sound? Yeah. That's a good sound. That's a good sound. It means that we're almost ready for the next bit. We want it to start turning a little bit in colour. I'm going to put the other rice in now. Washing. And then we need to start stirring this right in. There you go. And as you can see, because I've done that now, we've got a little bit of oil in the bottom, but not as much as it appeared to be at the beginning, right? So we're going to leave that settle for a minute, because that's also going to go absolutely solid before it'll start softening up. And we're waiting for it to all separate properly before we'll actually use that, okay? As you can see, our salsa is starting to get nice and hot. Give that a bit of a spin in there. We want that to reduce right down, so it's a nice salsa to go on top of our food afterwards. But you'll see how the presentation works in a bit. Again, I'll catch up with the chat in a minute. Just, you see, with the rice, the problem is with rice, you daren't take your eye off it for too long, because when it does go, it goes, right? So you can see it's quite clumpy at the moment. We're going to work it until all those clumps have disappeared, which is really quite important. We don't want those clumps in there at all. There we go. Perfect. Now let's just have a catch up on the chat quickly while we do that. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the hi there from Reggie. You okay, Reggie? I hope you're okay. I hope you're still here. So, let's keep on going with this. And don't worry, I never take offence to anything anybody says. We all have our opinions, which is absolutely fine. So you can see it's starting to loosen up quite a lot. I mean, let's face it, if, some of you will know me from the Hago days, and you would have all seen my Egyptian kitchen that shows absolute mess all the time. So this one is an absolute dream to work in, I can tell you. Not like the old ones, or not like the good old days. So we're going to give that a good mix. We have to keep it going. We want it to start changing colour a little bit, but not too much. As you can see, this is starting to reduce down quite nicely. We want that so it's more of a salsa, not a sauce. We don't really want a sauce, we want more of a salsa thing. I've already seasoned that as well, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with. Mix. Are there many Egyptian restaurants in the UK, Leslie? Not that many, no, to be honest. They're mainly in London. Having said that, we do have like a Mediterranean / Middle Eastern restaurant on my local town where I used to live in Shrewsbury. We did have one there, which did all my favourites as well, which was quite nice. It was quite funny because when I walked in, he actually had the same material for his seat covers that I had as my balcony curtains, which was hilarious. I was like, oh, it's like being at home, kind of. Right, so we're still quite not ready. I mean, we could do it here, we could finish it here, but I'm going to push it a little bit further and get it sort of like a little bit browner in colour. But you're allowed to, Annette. It's an art studio, not a kitchen. I have to say, poor old Sam, he has an absolute heart attack when I finish cooking because he knows I'm going to make an absolute mess. But he knows I tidy up after myself, so all's good. Can you see how that's starting to change now? That is starting to change quite nicely, which is fabulous. That's what we want. Now this is always designed to eat on its own. You don't have to have anything else with it. You can just have the kushri on its own. We've opted tonight to have some chicken kebab type things to go with it, just for a bit of protein, because it will be our main meal tonight. And the one thing about having carbs, or all those carbs, is you kind of are hungry after it, aren't you? So you don't really want that. So this is why I make sure that, I make sure I load it up with a little bit of something else. Now can you see it is starting to change colour? The one that we put in first is now starting to brown up a little bit. We'll keep it going just a little bit more because I like pushing my limits all the time. It's splatting away quite nicely there. So I'm doing quite well. A little bit more. There we go. See that now? Now that's almost ready for me to put my stuff into. So bear with me, I will do that in a moment. And then we'll get the water in there. And then we'll see some real shenanigans go on there, I'll tell you. Right. So again, there, if you want to see what tours are coming up, or you'd like to buy me a coffee, to put the fan on, because this is definitely going to make a bit of a solution in a minute. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, because I don't want it boiling over too much. So I've got a big thing in stock. Now there is a bit of a science to this, so we're going to put it in. Mind you don't burn yourself as well, because it does get extremely hot, this does. Right, so we're going to wait for this to settle a little bit. It needs to settle a little bit. I'm just going to toast the... So I need a bit more salt in there. So we want it just to cover the top of the rice, okay? Just over the top of the rice. It needs to stop it from boiling a little bit. What I'm going to do while that's doing that is I'm going to put a bit of salt in to give it some flavour. Okay, give it a bit of a mix. And then I'm going to stick a lid on it. Because now what we want it to do is we want it to reduce down. That's what's going to happen now. Is it's all going to reduce down so that it gets nice and cooked. We don't want any liquid left when we've finished, okay? No liquid. Liquid means mess, and it gets all congealed. It just tastes very nice, or it tastes watery. This is why we have to watch to make sure that we've got enough water in there to cook the rice, but not saturate the rice, because we don't want it clagging. The last thing we want is soggy rice. Nobody needs that in their lives. So, as I said, it is a little bit of a science experiment. So what we do is we put it on a high heat now to get rid of all that liquid. And then what we do is we turn the heat right down or off, and then we let it cook in its own steam for the rest of the time. So now I'm going to take you back over to here again. Okay, let's move our blender out of the way. Oh, for those of you that are here for Leica, say hi to everybody. Lulu, she's like, nope, you're cooking, you're not giving me any, as usual. She was spayed on Monday, so she's feeling very sorry for herself today. I feel very guilty. Right, but it's the best thing for her. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our garlic. Okay, so with our garlic, we just need to take our garlic cloves. Now, depending on how much you love garlic, this depends on how much you put into this part of it, because this is going to go on like a bit of a marinade on top afterwards, to give extra flavour. As you know me, I'm all about the flavour. I may have a messy kitchen, but I do love my flavours and I do love my cooking. So I'm going to do, there's 5 cloves there. So let's do 5 cloves. I'm going to cheat. Usually I have a pestle and mortar, but I don't really have a very good one here. I had to leave my metal one in Egypt, unfortunately. So let's get this in here. Yummy garlic. Do love a bit of garlic, me. This should be more than enough. There's only 2 of us eating it. So, ooh, I'm on the bugger. Yeah, all the way through. Right, let's just chop those bits off there. Nicely. We'll drop it because of a doofus. Get mummy a doofus, hey Lakey. Put that in there. Scrape out the bits in there. Put that in there as well. Now, if you're not wanting to, I wouldn't suggest on having any of this if you're going on a first date ever, unless you want to really test that person and see if they really like you, because this would be a really good test to see if they want to stick around, because this will make you stink like you've never stunk before. It's really, really, really quite potent. bear with me a second, I'll be back in a minute. We're checking on our rice. A little bit longer. Around a little bit. Still hard. Right, so we have our garlic mix here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of black pepper in there. A little bit of cumin. A little bit of coriander, or cusper as we call it. A little bit of salt. And then we're going to take our garlic, our white vinegar, and we're going to saturate it. Take a teaspoon, get a bit of a mix. And then that is our sauce ready. So as you can see, there you go. That's all ready to go. Stinks, smells really lovely, but it's really, really good, okay? So that's really, really good. We're going to put that to one side, and we'll be using that shortly. So let's get rid of some of this mess here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our onion. Now this is more of a garnish for the top, but it's also makes it taste really nice. I love really like your hot dog onions. Love those. So I'm going to make a load of these because I do love a good fried onion. That's partly fine a day, I'm sure. I could cheat. I could use a lovely machine that cuts it up really quick for me, but it means I've got extra washing up, so let's just do it. Now I'm no Gordon Ramsay, I'm no Jamie Oliver, I don't have a whole team of production team behind me, it's just me on my little lonesome. So I've never professed to be a very fast cutter, but I do my best. Let's get all these nicely cut up. And we'll go and check on the rice in a minute. Can't leave it too long because otherwise we'll be in trouble. We'll catch up on the chat again in a minute for you lovely people. I'm not ignoring you, but I do need to keep an eye on this, otherwise I'll have my fingers off next. I've watched way too many documentaries on people losing fingers from doing daft things. Right, so that's my onions prepared. We'll come back to those in a moment. Take you back over here. Look at me washing up as I go, aren't I good? Right, so rice then. Let's have a look. Going on in here. That now totally evaporated. See all that? It's all gone. All that liquid is gone. Let's just taste it. A little bit solid still. I'll put a little bit more water in, just a tiny bit, a little drop. Now you want it to be not soft when you try it. You want it to be a little bit firm, but you don't want it to be so firm that you break your teeth on it, okay? So it's like the outer side of it is nice and soft, but the inside is still a little bit undercooked, okay? So you're waiting for that to get to there. That was just a little bit, more than half was undercooked, so I'm going to wait. Now you see my little salsa? There you go. Salsa is done. So we can now take that off the heat. Now, get a little pot for that. While we do that, I'm just going to get the pot. Use that. And then I'm just going to pop the salsa in there. And then that will be for in a minute. Now what I tend to do is I tend to go down to my local Middle Eastern market, to be honest, and I buy tomatoes from there because I can get something like 3.5 kilos Actually, last time I went there, I got like 10, 15 kilos for like £7. Really, really cheap. I think the tomatoes came from Turkey. I do like to buy homegrown stuff as well. Trust me, I do. But the price difference is quite, if you're on a bit of a budget, it can be quite costly, because 3.5 kilos in our local village here for tomatoes, 3.5 kilos of tomatoes ended up being some ridiculous like £13. It was so expensive. Right, that's going to be ready now. Can you see how much that's swollen up? A little bit more rice than I intended, but never mind. I'm going to take that off the heat now, and we're going to let it rest. It just needs to rest now. So let's just have a bit of a wipe around here. This cooker's a nightmare, because it just turns itself off randomly if it gets too hot. Right, okay, let's put that on there. Turn this little bugger back on again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fry our onions, which is our last stage for this whole thing. Let's use a bit of ghee. We've got the ghee out, so we'll use the ghee. Nice splodge of ghee in there, like so. Let's let that heat up a minute, and then we're going to add our what are we cooking? Our onions. Momentarily. Onions over there. See that I am doing something. Moving around the kitchen. Get the plates nice and ready. Right, so as soon as that's up to temperature, we're going to fry them onions off. Look what's warm in this kitchen. You remember, hopefully those of you that actually followed me on the Hago tours, how hot I used to get in my kitchen. It was insane how warm it was. It really was. But good times had by all. Except me, because I was boiling in the kitchen. In my lime green kitchen, if you remember. Right, so that's nearly up to temperature. Give that a go in a minute. Right, yep, it's ready. Put those little onions in there. And we want them to go nice and brown. The browner, the better. We like a good hot dogs. Hot dog onion, even though we're not making hot dogs. Right, so let's give this a bit of a mix. All these onions nicely fried up. Questions while I wait that done? Oh wow, lovely. I love that. I do love restaurant work. I love to cook. Yeah, I love cooking too. It's so good. I don't know the answer to that one. That how would you? I don't know. Not please go back up in the comments. So if you can't ask anything and I missed it, please do ask again, and I will try and answer them. Right, come on, onions, do your thing. This always seems to be the one bit that takes the longest to do, is frying of the onions. And then suddenly they'll be all They'll all be white one minute, and next minute they've gone completely black. You're like, oh God, I missed the boat on those ones. So we're not far off now, and then what we're going to do, once these onions are cooked, we're going to start putting it all together. The reason I am having cushion today is I've got 2-hour netball session tonight. So yes, I started playing netball, for those of you who don't know, which has been great fun. Great for rehabilitation for the old hip actually, along with paddle, I've started playing quite a lot of. Something different, something a bit new for me, and meeting people as well, which has been really, really awesome. Been able to meet lots and lots of new people, which I like doing. So it's been quite cathartic, it has. Lovely. Love it. Quite funny, Sam came down about 2 minutes ago and then took one look at the kitchen and then walked straight back out again. Poor guy. That's it. Starting to firm up now. Yay! Thank goodness for that. I thought it was going to take forever to do this. Sponge. This is clean down while it's still hot. Upset the cooker again. Turn you back on again, bugger. That's it. Where would my life be if I hadn't upset the cooker? I've got fat splashes all up the glasses. How I've managed that, I don't know. Honestly. You can't leave me alone for a minute, really, because I'm dangerous by myself. Yum, yum, yum. Yes, it's a lot easier to clean the electric, yeah. Also, it's temperature controlled, so I don't burn things as much as I used to. Because, like, you know, with Egyptian cookers, they were very, because it was run on gas bottles, it was really difficult to make sure that you got the temperatures right. Absolutely horrific it was. I think what I'm going to do, let me just double check the rice now is ready to rock. Oh, yeah, delicious. Rice is ready. Right. What I need to do is take some of the rice out and some macaroni and mix it together. I want to mix it all together because if I do that, then I'm going to waste having different meals during the week. So if we don't want all of this today, we can just mix so much up for our meal today. But because the macaroni's been sat on the side for a little while, I kind of need to heat that back up, and I can use the rice to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get my macaroni, and I'll put half of it in here. The rest in the bowl later. It's okay. Like there. I shan't be putting my hand into the rice because I'll burn it off. Clean the spoon. And then take my rice and I'm going to put some of that in as well. And we can always have some more during the week if we want anyway, because we can just mix it all up. It's that easy. I'm going to mix all that up like that. That is now going to heat up the pasta again. Okay, so we've got a nice little mix of macaroni and rice in there. This is nearly done. Yep, it's nearly done, not far off now. So what we'll do, well, that's just finishing its last little bit. I'm going to take you back over to here, and then we are going to start plating up. Okay, so here's our plate. Here is our macaroni mix. I think you can see this quite nicely. I'm going to pop the load in there like so. Pop the load more in there. Actually, I think I can get away with a bit more in here actually. I'm going to put a bit more rice in there. More rice than I have anything else at the moment. Rice, so the rest of the pasta personally. Nice big plate of that there. And then what we do is take the spoon like this. I'm going to pop some salsa on the top, like so. Okay. And then remember our garlic mix from earlier. Give a bit more of a mix. We're going to spread some of this over the top. As I told you, keeps the vampires away. I love this stuff. Always gives me indigestion, but I can't get enough of it. Yummy, right, so that is done. Then what we do is we go and get our little onions that we have just fried up, and then we put a load of those on top as well. Okay, and that, we've got some onions for later if you want them. Onions, yummy, yummy, yummy. Get those onions in my tummy. So that is it. That is a macaroni bechamel. Isn't that look delicious? I mean, you know, goodness, who wouldn't? Just so nice. And then just to finish it off, because I can, I'm going to put these on. Now, you don't usually have to do this, but I'm going to do this because I can. And this is our main meal for the evening. So we will be eating macaroni bechamel with some lovely, lovely chicken kebabs there. And that, my lovelies, is that. Hold on a second. So what we need to do now is, if you're wanting the full recipe, I will post it actually. I do have a website, but I've got some technical issues with that at the moment as well. It seems like I seem to be haunted by technical issues at the moment. So I will post it into my Buy Me a Coffee, so you can get the recipe in there. I will put the whole thing in there for you, but also too I will put a link into the live events on Facebook page. The lovely lady Annette is one of those ladies that runs that page. Absolutely brilliant. So you can find lots of different tours on there as well. I posted the link in the chat down there. Look how warm I am now. So that you can actually go to the Buy Me a Coffee page. In there, there's an awful lot of different tours coming up. Tomorrow, I have one tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. UK time. So 8 p.m. UK time. Join me for that. And it'll be the life and death of Ramses III. A very, very interesting subject, actually, because he was murder. So we will go through all that with you. And do come along to that tomorrow evening. Do have a go at this at home. It's very simple. You've probably got all the ingredients in your cupboards already, so it's dead simple to do. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please do. It does help just keep the channel running, keeps me, because I spend hours and hours and hours doing the research for all the tools and things, and then putting blogs together so you can get the recipes and things. So please do, if you can buy me a coffee, I'll be so grateful. So thank you for that in advance. But that is it for me today. I'm going to go off and eat my dinner now. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope to see you tomorrow evening for Ramses III, Life and Death, and enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to eat this and then go run around the netball court for a bit. But until then, have a great rest of your day. It's been my pleasure. My name has been Leslie Hammam, and I will see you again very, very soon. So one last look at our kushuri. And I'll see you again soon, guys. Thank you so much for joining. It's been my pleasure. Until next time, bye for now.